Why is nobody else protesting with us? We're not the only immigrants. Latinos are not the only immigrants. There's Europeans, there's from Africa, there's from Asia, there's from all over. Where are you guys at? Why are your people not standing with us? I know you don't want to call it upon you guys, but why are we alone in this? Go look at the videos of the protests that are going on. We are fucking alone. It's all brown-skinned people. Where are all the other races? You guys post all these fucking videos about it, but you guys ain't doing nothing with us. Where are you guys? Why are we alone? We support everything when it comes to you guys. We are always there for you. And this is why we Latinos are just different. We're different in everything. We're different the way we work. We're different with our morals. We're just different. I think this is why we're so hated. Because nobody will ever be like us. Because we are always there when people need us. But look at right now. We're so fucking alone. And we're still fucking standing strong. I think I've never been so proud of being a fucking immigrant Latina in the USA.
I just want to say, watching these raids happen in LA right now, people voted for this. And I think right now, the Black and the brown community, we need to come together. And we need to remember that they are the ones who made it us versus them. They put us against each other, because if we're busy fighting each other, we don't put our eyes on them. We need to wake up. Everybody needs to wake up.
Girl, you need to wake up. Not the Hispanics calling on the Black people for help. Really? Where were y'all during George Floyd? Where were y'all during Sandra Bland? Where were y'all during all of the white cops killing Black people? Where were y'all? But y'all want us to come together. Really? Really? Why y'all calling on us? Why y'all calling on the Black people? Why y'all not calling on Asians? They're a minority too. Why y'all calling for us? If you go on my page, you will see I made a post about how there was a Trump rally for Trump back in 2020, before he even got elected 4 years ago. And there was a crowd full of Hispanics. And the song was saying, I will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all want it. Y'all got it. Y'all got him into office. And now y'all want to double back and ask for help, calling all the African Americans to help. Like, come on now. We gonna stay out of this. We gonna stay as far away from this. Y'all can continue to riot and make yourselves look bad, but we gonna stay out of this.
I seen someone ask this question and it got me to thinking, you're right. Why haven't the Latin community called on the Asians that's in California to go out and march and help? Why is the call of action only to Black people? I just really want to know. Because they call themselves the model minority. So they supposed to be smarter, more educated. This is all per them. Why haven't y'all called on the Asians? Why do they get to sit back and chill? We already know they out to pew us. Let me know.
Greetings, family. There is a growing call for unity. Latinos are now urging Black and brown communities to stand with them in the fight against ICE raids and deportations. But what happens when the cries of solidarity are met with silence? Many Black Americans are choosing not to protest, and that silence is shaking the room. It's not just quiet, it's intentional. Today we dive into why some Black voices are stepping back and what that means in a country built on performative allyship and forgotten pain. Let's dive into it.
How come none of these Latino celebrities ain't speaking up on what's going on? Wasn't J-Lo viral like last week? She got a big platform and she got nothing to lose. So either or, she ain't losing nothing. She's already washed. And let's not talk about Bad Bunny. That's like y'all version of Michael Jackson. In the Latino community, y'all talk about that dude like a god. And he ain't even saying nothing about what's going on. Bad Bunny. And you know why? Because Bad Bunny Puerto Rican. Just like J-Lo is Puerto Rican. They can't get deported. Don't tell me y'all didn't learn that in school, that Puerto Ricans can't get deported. Just like Black Americans. But y'all always out there wanting Black people to be your guard dogs. You're always out there wanting black people to be your human shields. And you know what? Your own kind don't even protect you. Jennifer, not J-Lo, Jennifer, the governor of Puerto Rico, right now as we speak, she turning all the information of undocumented immigrants over to the Trump administration. The Mino Black Dominicans, y'all about to pack y'all bags and leave Puerto Rico.
Man, stop trying to convince these people that we need to stand together and all that. They ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. They've been betrayed so many times, bro. 1877, after federal troops pulled out of the South, bro. Betrayed. 40 acres and a mule, betrayed. You feel me? Jim Crow, betrayed. Redlining, betrayed. Every promise that this country has made to them has been a false promise. And now we need y'all to stand with us while we march. Leave them people alone. They ain't trying to hear that shit. They ain't trying to hear that shit. Because they know how prevalent racism is in our community. And they know how y'all talk about them when they ain't in the room. And they know that now y'all got y'all N-word wake up. Didn't y'all? Y'all got that Paul Mooney N-word wake up call. And now y'all want to scream unity and solidarity. Nah, bro. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. The people that have been working together will continue to work together. The people that have empathy for your plight and your situation will continue to have empathy for your plight and situation. But don't try to convince people to come join your side.
Everybody talking about this black and brown need to unite and all this good stuff because of the LA riot and all that stuff. And my thing is, can y'all sub us out for the Asian community? Because the Asians, they getting away with a lot of stuff. They not doing nothing. Ain't nobody mention them. They just lived in their own little world, peaceful. Like they ain't got no problems going on over there. They even had the little Stop Hate Asian bill. I don't know if it's still there now though, but they had that bill. You know, they living good. Okay, so my thing is, y'all talking about something. Oh no, it's not all of us Latinos and all that voted for them and all. Because what we can't do is lose all our YNs trying to help y'all and all this stuff when we gonna need our YNs when it's time for our own battle. You get what I'm saying? So no, we can't be sacrificing all our people for y'all to help y'all. Y'all should have voted, did right at the polls. None of this stuff would have happened. But y'all chose this. Like I say, get them Asians, get the white folks that didn't vote for Trump and all that stuff. Get them people. You know what I'm saying? Leave us alone because, like I say, we going to have our own battles and we going to need our YNs and all that good stuff. We keep our health together and all that for our own battles. Like I say, ask somebody else.
Y'all know when Latinos and Hispanics be like black Americans are next? They really thought that black Americans are immigrants. And that explains why they voted the way they voted. They tried to get us up out of here. But I gotta say to the Latino community, not only did your ESL classes, but the American educational system failed you tremendously. Because black Americans are not immigrants and we're not going anywhere. And this is how ill-informed they are. They really think because they're in the middle between black and white that they're white adjacent. When that's far from the truth. It's only 3 categories that's broken down in this country. You have white Americans, you have non-whites, and you have black Americans. The people in the middle, y'all just extras in this movie. The main characters are the white Americans and the black Americans, and sometimes the Native Americans make a guest appearance. This country spent too much money, trillions of dollars, in painting black people as the bad guys. That's the default. To even get rid of black Americans. As sad as that may sound. And you know who's catching on quick, who's learning the game real quick? Africans and Caribbeans. That's why they're cosplaying as black Americans. They're not cosplaying as black Americans to trick us black Americans. They're doing it to trick white Americans because they don't want to be deported.
Black people are tired of being a bank where everyone keeps making withdrawals and no one ever makes a deposit. And I want you to think about that. If that was your setup, would you still want to give? especially for those of us in the Hispanic community, because it's about patterns that we've inherited and the harm that we've ignored. Me, myself, I'm Puerto Rican. I've seen how anti-Blackness and colorism still show up in our homes, in our language, in our media, in our families. In many families, darker skin is treated like a disadvantage. When solidarity is needed, hesitation shows what's been internalized, and too many of us were raised to believe that aligning with Blackness meant losing something: safety, opportunity, acceptance. And we were taught the proximity to whiteness would protect us, that staying quiet was safer. So if we don't unlearn that, we end up repeating the same harm we say we stand against. So disengagement is not okay. What's happening to immigrant communities right now is devastating. I'm not taking away from that, and it does deserve compassion and support. But a good portion of that fear didn't come from distant forces, and it came from within our own communities. I've spoken out because I've watched people I know support systems that were never created for us to begin with. Systems that weren't designed to protect us, only to use us when it's convenient. So while I've raised my voice, I also know too many that have stayed silent, or worse, they chose power. We don't get to ask for empathy if we're unwilling to confront the harm our silence helped protect. And contrary to popular opinion, holding each other accountable isn't betrayal. It's how we begin to heal. So to the Black women and men that are saying we poured into everybody and got nothing back, you're not wrong. You've carried movements, you've carried communities, you've carried generations without rest, without complaint, without question. And we cannot undo the silence that already has happened, but we can take responsibility for what happens next. I think people are not realizing we have way more similarities than differences, and we have more power together than we do apart. So look to your Black brother or sister, look at them and say thank you, and I see you. Simple as that. Strike up a conversation, get to understand, because that's all they're asking for, to be seen and to be appreciated for all that they do.
So I speak up in solidarity for LA, and all of a sudden I got all these brothers and sisters talking about, don't speak up in solidarity with Latinos, they never protest for us. And then I realized, the same brothers that say that Latinos don't protest for Black folks also don't protest for Black folks. How you gonna tell me who ain't there? Damn it, you ain't there. This is like if in the civil rights movement the people stayed home, actually had the internet, and could complain about the people who went out there, get called a leader. Talking about it's dangerous, they not playing, you could get hurt. Yeah, that's why they call it courage. Same ones that say other races of people ain't standing on business for Black folks, ain't standing on business them damn self. They standing on bits, bots, and binary code. You out here screen scrapping, homie. If you were in the real life, you could not make that claim. I was in real life. I know your claim is wrong. Picture gaslighting me, who shows up in objective reality, about who ain't there in objective reality when you wasn't there in objective reality. The problem is your favorite online influencer is telling you that no other people show up for Black folks. And the fact is, 2012 could have made that claim. 2015, during the Mike Browns, could have made that claim. After the George Floyds, you can't make that claim, homie. In fact, all you doing with that claim is telling me exactly the last time you was out there actually making real things happen. A decade ago. They got the memo. I seen them. And it wasn't rare. Like, hella people was out there talking about Black Lives Matter who wasn't Black. So here's what needs to happen. If you scared, say you scared. This whole talking point, this ain't our fight. You might be right. Have some ground to stand on when it comes to ICE. But not with martial law. Police state, everybody proud. Oh, this ain't our fight, people. Tell me you don't read history without telling me you don't read history. Because I can tell who done cracked the book on fascism and who has not. But what you not gonna do is tell me that standing up, speaking up for Latinos in their specific time of need forfeits my stance on reparations. Nope, still old. Not gonna forfeit my stance on Black folks keeping the Second Amendment. Still need that. Not gonna forfeit my stance on us having bodily autonomy and medical freedom. Look at the history of medical apartheid. All that still is in place. And they'll say, nah, but Latinos got anti-Black racism. You think I don't know that?
The silence from Black communities isn't apathy, it's a statement. For decades, Black people have fought on the front lines of justice, often alone. Now, they're asking, where was this same energy when we cried out for justice? Unity must be mutual, not just convenient when trouble knocks. If solidarity is only expected in one direction, then what we are calling unity is actually exploitation. The silence today is a call to reflect, not deflect. It's a demand that allyship becomes action, not just strategy. Until then, maybe silence will speak louder than words. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. If you found value in what we shared, kindly consider subscribing and turn on notifications so you never miss any update from my videos. Your support truly means a lot and it helps us keep bringing you more insightful content. Thanks again and see you in the next video.